Close your eyes. Imagine a night where the winds whisper of forgotten temples, where moonlight drapes across ancient stone, and where the voices of divine women rise again to guide the soul. These are not voices of noise, but of calm. Soft hymns from the past, waiting to carry you gently into dreams. Tonight, we will journey through sacred lands and silent myths, wandering slowly into the presence of goddesses, priestesses, and mothers of spirit. Their teachings are like rivers, still flowing, though long unseen. Allow their forgotten wisdom to bathe your mind in peace as you rest under the blanket of stars. If this story helps your spirit drift into rest, you may choose to subscribe for more journeys, or gently share in the comments where you are listening from tonight. It is like adding your light to our circle of peace. The night is still. The air is cool, as if the earth itself exhales. Somewhere in the distance, a soft ember glows, the kind of flame that has no beginning and no end. It is the first flame, the flame of the mother. Close your eyes within this story. Imagine the world before walls, before temples, before words. Only the earth and the sky. Only the wind and the gentle hush of fire burning in the dark. This was the time when people gathered close, not yet to conquer, but simply to survive, to rest, to dream. In that silence, a figure appeared in the mind of humanity. A figure carved from stone, shaped by hands that trembled with wonder. She was round, full, carrying the mystery of life within her body. Her presence was the presence of food, of safety, of warmth. This was the mother, the first divine woman to hold the spirit of the world. The fire flickered beside her, each spark a reminder of light in the long night, each ember a whisper of survival. The people looked upon her form and felt calm, for if she existed, then life would go on. Children would be born, harvests would return, rivers would keep flowing. She was the promise that tomorrow would come. The stone figure was small enough to fit in the palm of the hand, yet she carried the weight of the stars. Her body was wide like the earth itself, her face simple, her presence eternal. No throne, no crown, only the sense of being, a reminder that existence itself was holy. As the flame danced in the night, she seemed to dance with it. Her spirit became the fire. Her warmth became the hearth. Her silence became the lullaby of the wind. To rest near her was to feel the arms of the world itself, holding, cradling, protecting. Time passed slowly, like the turning of the moon. People would sit by the fire and dream of her. They dreamed of a womb as wide as the sky. They dreamed of a breast that could feed the whole earth. They dreamed of hands that shaped soil and rain into abundance. Every dream returned to her, the first mother. In her, the people saw not just survival, but love. Not the sharp love of desire, but the soft love of presence. The love that watches over a sleeping child. The love that waits patiently, never fading. The love that is always there, like the ground beneath bare feet. The flame flickers. The night deepens. The stars lean closer. Each star seems like an eye, watching with kindness, watching with care. Perhaps the mother's eyes were these stars. Perhaps she was not only in the figure carved from stone, but in the sky, in the river, in the soil, in the breath, everywhere and always. Listen now as the ancient drums beat softly in the distance. Not loud, not harsh, but slow, like the heartbeat of the earth. Boom, silence, boom, silence. Each sound is the echo of the mother's heart. Each silence is her breath. Through these rhythms, the people learn to rest, to feel safe, to surrender to the night. The mother taught without words. Her flame was her teaching. It said, stay close. It said, protect each other. It said, sleep, and life will begin again at dawn. Imagine her now, not as something distant, but as something near. Her warmth is the blanket around your shoulders. Her breath is the air filling your chest. Her flame is the soft glow behind your closed eyes. She has always been here, in every heartbeat, in every quiet moment. The first flame did not only warm bodies, it warmed dreams. It guided the spirit inward into visions of peace. As the people slept, they dreamed of seeds growing, of rivers flowing, of birds returning in spring. They dreamed of cycles that never ended, of time that was kind, of life that always returned. And when they woke, they carried those dreams back into the day. The mother's flame was not only for the night, but for the dawn, for the morning, for every hour that passed. Wherever they walked, she walked with them. Wherever they rested, she rested too. Her presence was not bound to a temple or shrine. It was in every stone, every tree, every fire, every breath. The carved figure was only a reminder. The real mother was larger than stone. She was the earth beneath their feet. She was the sky above their heads. She was the circle that wrapped around everything. The people knew this without needing to say it. They simply felt it, and in that feeling, they found peace. Now picture yourself near that fire. The air is cool, the night is long, but you're not afraid. The flame is steady. The mother is near. The stars shimmer softly, like sparks scattered across the heavens. The river hums in the background, gentle and unending. You are safe. You are held. You are part of the circle of her care. The mother's lesson was simple. Life is a flame. It flickers, but it does not vanish. It changes, but it remains. Like the fire, the spirit glows within, carrying light into every shadow. Even as centuries passed, the memory of her flame lingered. It appeared in new forms and new names in new lands, yet always at the heart of it was the same truth. The mother was eternal. She was not bound to one people or one story. She was the quiet center of them all. The fire sighs. The night breathes. You drift deeper into the story, deeper into her arms. The first flame is no longer far away. It is within you, glowing softly, guiding you into rest. Now, let the flame carry you. Let the warmth of the mother wrap around you. Let her heartbeat become your own. There is no need to search. You are already home. You're already safe. The first flame of the mother burns quietly and will never fade. Sleep now. Rest now. The story continues beyond the firelight. But for now, close your eyes within her embrace. The mother is with you. The flame is with you. The night is soft, and it is enough. Let us drift onward, deeper into the dream. The night opens slowly, like a curtain drawn across the sky. The world is quiet now. Soft winds move through branches, carrying with them the cool fragrance of earth. Above the moon rises, pale and silver, a lantern for the wandering soul. Its light does not burn. It soothes. It falls like a veil upon the land, calming every restless heart. Imagine yourself standing at the edge of a field. The grasses are tall, swaying gently. In the distance, the horizon is brushed with silver. The moon looks down, patient and eternal. You are not alone beneath it. For as long as people have dreamed, they have looked up and seen her, the goddess of the night sky, the mother of tides, the watcher of sleep. In Greece, she was Selene. Her chariot, drawn by white horses, glided across the heavens. Each night, she painted the darkness with her glow. Her face was round, her light tender. She was not a flame to fear, but a presence to trust. To look upon her was to feel the world pause, to feel time itself rest. In India, she was Chandra. Cool, serene, his light was nectar. Gentle beams that healed the mind and steadied the heart. The moon was medicine. It calmed fever, softened sorrow, and brought balance to the restless spirit. Under his glow, the rivers glistened, the flowers closed their eyes, and the world surrendered to peace. In every land, the moon carried whispers. To the Maya, it was Ixchel, the weaver of life, the goddess who poured rain upon the earth. Her moonlight touched rivers and fields, reminding people of cycles, of endings that are also beginnings. Her whispers were not in words, but in rhythms, waxing and waning, growing and fading, always returning. Close your eyes. Feel the moonlight settle on your skin like a soft blanket. It does not ask you to move. It asks you to rest. It carries no weight, only quiet silver shining without demand. The moon has always guided travelers. Sailors at sea lifted their eyes to her glow. Nomads crossed deserts, following her gentle path. Her light was a compass of stillness, pointing not to a place, but to comfort itself. As long as she was there, no one was truly lost. Imagine a small village thousands of years ago. Children sleep by the fire. The air is heavy with smoke and song. Elders look up at the sky, telling stories of the moon's face. They say she watches over dreamers. They say she carries prayers across the night. They say her silver light is the thread that ties every heart together. The moon is change, yet also eternity. She grows, she fades, she vanishes, she returns. In her dance, people learned patience. They learned that darkness is not an end. It is only a pause, a space for renewal. The new moon is not empty. It is simply resting. And in that rest, life prepares to begin again. Her whispers touch the water. The tides rise and fall with her breath. The ocean listens to her rhythm, bowing and returning in endless waves. Each wave is a hymn to the moon, each ripple a prayer, soft and unbroken. Even the smallest pool reflects her face, reminding us that her light belongs everywhere. Listen closely. In the silence of night, you may hear her song. It is not a song of words, but of feeling, a lullaby carried on silver beams. It says, sleep. It says, you are safe. It says, I am watching, and I will not fade. The moon's wisdom is gentle. She does not shout. She does not force. She only reflects. Her glow is borrowed from the sun, yet she makes it her own. She teaches that even in reflection, there is power. That light does not need to burn to be real. It can simply glow, and that is enough. Now picture yourself drifting beneath her. You lie on soft grass, the stars above like tiny blossoms. The moon hangs above, steady and calm. Her light moves over your closed eyelids. Your breath slows. Your body softens. You are being bathed in silver peace. Think of the many faces of the moon. The crescent, sharp and delicate like a smile. The half, balanced between dark and light. The full, a circle complete, radiant, abundant. Each face a reminder of change. Each face a promise that no stage is final. All things pass. All things return. The ancients knew this truth. They looked to her for comfort when crops failed, when journeys stretched long, when sorrow visited their homes. The moon's steady rhythm reminded them that all sorrow fades, all nights end, all darkness lifts. Her whispers were always the same: endure, rest, trust. Even now she watches. Every night she finds you. Her silver glow falls across rooftops, across rivers, across mountains, across oceans. Distance does not matter. Her light finds its way to you. It touches you gently, like the hand of a mother smoothing the brow of a child. Now let yourself rest in her presence. Imagine her chariot passing above. White horses moving slowly through the stars. The sound of hooves is like distant drums. Steady, soft, eternal. They echo in the silence of your chest. They keep rhythm with your breathing. Moonlight flows into you, filling every space with quiet calm. Her whispers guide you deeper. They say, dream. They say, drift. They say, you are safe beneath my glow. And so you drift, carried by her silver tide. Each breath takes you further into her embrace. Each heartbeat carries you deeper into her story. The night deepens. The stars shimmer faintly. The moon continues her journey across the heavens. She is never in a hurry. She does not rush. She moves as time itself moves, softly, steadily, without end. Rest now as she watches. Let her glow surround you. Let her whispers soothe you. The silver veil of the night is drawn close. You are safe within it. You are cradled by the same light that guided ancient souls. The same light that will guide tomorrow's children. The moon will remain. She will rise again. And again, always, her whispers will never fade. Her light will never leave. Now rest as the stars return. Now drift as the silver glow softens. The night is gentle. The moon is with you. Her whispers are yours, forever. Let us drift onward, into the next dream. The night is hushed. The stars rest in silence. The air carries the faint scent of incense, drifting like threads of memory through ancient stone. You step softly into a temple, its walls tall and cool, its halls echoing with quiet. Shadows dance upon the pillars, cast by the gentle light of an eternal fire. It is here that the priestesses keep watch. Their voices are low, never loud. They do not command, they do not rule. They serve by presence, by tending the flame that never sleeps. Their steps are measured like the steady beat of a heart, each motion a prayer, each gesture a hymn. The sacred fire burns at the center of the hall. It flickers, not wildly, but steadily, soft gold against the dark. The priestesses feed it carefully. A branch here, a handful of herbs there. They lean forward, their faces calm, eyes lowered, lips whispering words that slip into the air like feathers. The fire listens. The gods listen. The earth listens. To the people outside, the temple is a place of mystery. But to those who serve within, it is a place of rhythm. The day follows the fire. Morning begins with its smoke. Evening rests in its glow. It is the heartbeat of the community, kept alive by hands both tender and strong. The priestesses do not seek glory. Their strength is quiet. They keep watch when others sleep. They guard when others forget. They remind the world that devotion is not noise, but silence. Not a crown upon the head, but a flame cradled in careful palms. Imagine the sound within these walls, a soft chant, low and steady, echoing against stone. The sound is not sharp. It hums, like the vibration of the earth itself. It rises and falls with the firelight. It lingers in the air like smoke, wrapping around those who listen. The chant is not a demand, but a comfort. It says, remain. It says, breathe. It says, rest. The temple itself feels alive. The walls carry the warmth of centuries. The floors remember every step, every kneel, every prayer. The fire has never gone out, not once, because the priestesses are always there. Through storms, through wars, through long nights and quiet mornings. The fire lives because they live for it. Some wear robes of white, soft as moonlight. Others wear deep colors, earth and wine, sky and sea. Their garments flow as they walk, as if the air itself bows to their movement. Hair braided, eyes calm, hands gentle, they move as if guided by the flame itself. Each one carries the stillness of the temple in her heart. To tend a flame is to tend life. It is to accept that devotion is not sudden, but steady. 1,000 small acts, each one soft, each one unseen. Yet together they form something eternal. The fire has burned longer than a lifetime, longer than many lifetimes, because the priestesses gave themselves to it. Outside, the world moves quickly. Kings rise, wars roar, empires fall. But here, within stone walls, time slows. The fire continues. The chants continue. The presence continues. And in that presence, the world finds peace. Imagine yourself sitting in the temple now. The floor is cool beneath you. The air tastes of smoke and resin. You hear the rustle of robes, the soft brush of sandaled feet. You hear the crackle of the flame, the sigh of voices humming prayers. Everything is slow, steady, balanced. You feel your breath join the rhythm. You are part of the silence. You are part of the flame. The role of the priestess was not to shine brighter than others, but to keep the light steady. Not to command, but to remind. Her devotion was a mirror, showing others that strength can be soft, that power can be quiet, that holiness can be as simple as tending a fire in the night. Some say the gods slept until the priestesses woke them. Some say the fire was the breath of the goddess herself, every spark a whisper, every flame a reminder. The divine is here, alive, burning, never far. The priestesses listened to these whispers. They carried them like lanterns in their hearts. They did not speak loudly, yet their silence spoke across centuries. Now the temple grows darker. The night deepens, but the fire glows stronger. The priestesses move softly, tending, watching, breathing with it. The flame is never left alone. It has companions, guardians, gentle keepers. And because of them, the night is never without light. Rest in this image. See the fire glowing steady. See the women moving gracefully around it. Their shadows stretch long across stone. Their whispers rise into air heavy with smoke and song. Every detail feels eternal. Every detail feels safe. The priestesses show that presence is enough. That to sit, to tend, to breathe is already holy. That devotion does not need to be loud to be strong. It only needs to endure, as the fire endures. You are part of this circle now. The flame glows in your heart. Its warmth fills your chest. Its glow softens your mind. You are watched over. You are protected. The temple is not far. It is within you. The priestesses hum their chant, and you hum with them. The flame listens. The gods listen. The earth listens. And now, as the night carries you deeper into rest, the fire glows steady, never fading. The priestesses remain at their posts. The temple remains calm. The silence remains whole. And you too remain safe within this sacred hall. Let the flame guide you deeper. Let the chant soothe you further. Let the presence hold you gently. Now rest as the stars return. Now drift as the fire burns softly. The night is kind. The temple is eternal. The priestesses are near. The flame is steady. Let us drift onward, into the next dream. The night opens like a quiet veil. The stars shimmer above, their reflections resting on a vast river. The water moves slowly, steady as breath. Its surface glows with silver light, carrying the moon's reflection in long ribbons of shine. The air is warm, filled with the faint song of crickets and the distant call of an owl. You drift closer to the river's edge, and there, Egypt unfolds before you. The land is wide and hushed. Palm trees rise like gentle guardians along the banks. Soft reeds bend with the breeze. The sand stretches far beyond, glowing pale under the moon. But it is the river, always the river, that holds the heart of the land. Its waters shine, its current whispers, its rhythm steadies all who dwell nearby. This is the Nile. This is the gift of Isis. Long ago, it is said, Isis wept. Her tears fell not in despair, but in love. For she mourned her beloved Osiris, scattered across the earth. Her tears became streams. Streams grew into rivers. Rivers joined into one great flow, endless and strong. Thus, the Nile was born, a gift from sorrow that turned into blessing. Her grief became life. Her water became eternity. Imagine those tears now, not bitter, not harsh. They fall softly, cool against the warm earth. Each drop a note of healing, each drop a promise of growth. From those tears, the desert softened. The dry land blossomed. Fields of grain swayed. Lotus flowers rose from the still pools. Life unfolded wherever her waters touched. The people of Egypt knew this truth. They called her the Mother. They sang her name in prayer. They built temples to honor her, where statues stood tall, holding pitchers of water, pouring forever. The sound of trickling water echoed through stone halls. It was the sound of her eternal gift. The Nile became the lifeline of the land. When the river rose, the fields grew green. When it lowered, the earth rested, waiting again for her blessing. Every season was guided by her tears. Every harvest was her offering. Children drank from her currents. Fishermen cast their nets upon her surface. Boats drifted upon her wide embrace, carrying stories and songs between villages. The water was not only water, it was memory. It was healing. It was her love, flowing endlessly. In the stillness of night, the river sounds like breath. Slow, gentle, steady, you can almost hear her voice in its ripples, soft as a mother's lullaby. Her words are carried in the current. Rest, child. Drink deeply. Be nourished. The moon glides across the sky, painting silver upon the waters. The stars lean closer, shimmering like jewels upon her veil. The river accepts their light, holding it in quiet reflection. As the current moves, the reflections dance. 1,000 sparks drifting downstream. They look like souls, carried to the sea, each one safe in her care. The priestesses of Isis would gather at dawn. They would carry bowls of water, lifting them high toward the sun. Their voices rose in chants, slow and steady like the rhythm of waves. They poured libations onto the earth, letting the water sink into soil. It was an offering, a returning of gift to giver, for all water belonged to her. All healing flowed from her. Every drop was sacred. Imagine standing by the river as they once did. The sun has just begun to rise, painting the horizon with rose and gold. The air is cool, the mist rising gently from the water. You hold a vessel of clay. Its surface is smooth and cool against your skin. You dip it into the river. It fills slowly, quietly, until it is heavy in your hands. As you lift it, droplets fall, shining in the morning light. You raise it to the sky, offering it back, a gesture of thanks. The river accepts. The goddess smiles. The sacred waters were not only for the earth, but for the spirit. It was said Isis could heal any wound with her touch. Her waters carried that same gift. A sip could restore strength. A bath could cleanse sorrow. A drop upon the lips of the dying could carry them gently into the afterlife, safe in her arms. The river was a bridge between worlds, flowing both through earth and through eternity. Close your eyes now and hear the current. It flows softly, steady, endless. It carries away worry. It carries away fear. It carries away the noise of the day. In its place comes calm. In its place comes rest, like Isis herself is watching. Her presence a blanket of peace. The lotus floats upon the still pools of her river. Its petals close in the night, waiting for the sun. It rests as you rest. It drifts as you drift. In the morning it will open again, fresh and new, kissed by her waters. The cycle is eternal, as the Nile is eternal, as her love is eternal. The people of old believed that as long as the Nile flowed, life would continue. As long as Isis wept, the earth would remain fertile. And so they trusted the river. They trusted her. Each flood was welcomed, not feared. Each drop was blessing. Each ripple was a reminder that the goddess had not forgotten them. You sit now at the edge of a river. The sand is soft beneath you. The night air is gentle. The stars lean close, shimmering upon the surface. The water glides by, whispering her lullaby. It tells you that you, too, are part of this flow, that within you are sacred waters, that your breath is a river, steady and alive, that your heart is the current carrying you forward, that your soul is a drop in her endless stream. Rest in this knowing. You are safe upon her banks. You are nourished by her tears. You're cradled by her love. The river carries you deeper into stillness, deeper into peace, deeper into sleep. Now the night grows quieter. The stars are soft, the moon drifts lower, but the river continues, steady and eternal. The waters of Isis do not cease. They flow beneath you, around you, within you. Her gift endures. Let yourself drift with the river now. Let it carry you softly onward. Each ripple a breath, each wave a dream, each moment a blessing. Now rest as the stars return. Now drift as the river carries you. Now sleep as Isis watches over you. Her waters are eternal. Her love is eternal. The Nile flows, steady and kind. Let us drift onward into the next dream. The night deepens and silence spreads like a gentle cloak. The air is warm, yet still, as though the world is holding its breath. Above, the stars shimmer, countless points of light strung across the sky. Each one glows softly, like oil lamps set in the heavens. The crescent moon hangs low, curving like a silver smile. And beneath this sky lies the land of Sumer. The soil is rich and dark. The rivers glide slowly, carrying life between fields of barley and reeds. Clay temples rise above the earth, their steps climbing toward the stars. Incense drifts through open doorways. The sound of distant drums hums low, steady as a heartbeat. This is the land of Inanna, the queen of heaven and earth. She is the goddess of many faces, of love and desire, of battle and storm. She dances between opposites, showing that life is never only one thing. Her beauty is fierce, her power radiant. She is both gentle rain and flashing lightning, both the flowering vine and the sharp thorn. Inanna holds the balance. It is said her daughters carried her ways into the world. They were priestesses, singers, dancers. They kept her rituals alive, shaping them into songs and movements that touched the people's hearts. When they gathered in the temples, their voices rose like birds in the dawn. They sang of the cycles of earth, the rising of grain, the turning of seasons. Their songs were not only heard but felt. Every note was a seed, planted deep in the soul. Imagine stepping into their temple. Torches flicker along stone walls. Shadows sway gently in the glow. The air smells of cedar and sweet resin. Soft bells ring, calling the faithful closer. The daughters of Inanna stand in a circle, their robes flowing like water. Gold threads catch the firelight. Their hands lift gracefully. Their feet move in rhythm with the drum. The dance begins. It is a slow dance, not hurried. Their steps follow the heartbeat of the earth. Each movement speaks. One hand opens, offering. One hand closes, protecting. One step forward, a call to life. One step back, a return to silence. Their bodies become the language of the goddess. The people watch in stillness. They see in the dance the balance of all things. That love cannot exist without its trials. That growth follows rest. That the earth gives and takes, always in rhythm. The daughters remind them that life is not a straight line, but a circle. It flows like the moon, waxing and waning. It flows like the river, flooding and falling. It flows like breath, in and out, endless. Their songs are woven with ancient words. They call upon Inanna as the morning star bright in the dawn. They call upon her as the evening star, guiding through the night. They honor her with melodies soft as silk, yet steady as stone. Their voices carry upward, echoing into the sky. The stars above seem to tremble, listening. One story tells of Inanna's journey to the underworld. She descended through 7 gates, each one taking something from her. Her crown, her jewels, her garments. At the end she stood bare, stripped of all power. There, in the realm of silence, she faced death itself. But she returned. She rose again, reborn into light. Her daughters kept this story alive. Through it, they reminded the people that endings are not the final word. That death is part of the circle, leading back to life. Their rituals were not only for the gods, but for the earth. In spring, they blessed the fields with water and song. They pressed seeds into soil with gentle hands, whispering prayers for growth. In summer, they danced among flowers, honoring fertility and love. In autumn, they mourned the fading light, their chants low and deep. In winter, they lit fires in the dark, calling for renewal. Every season, every turning was guided by their devotion. The temple itself seemed to breathe with them. Columns rose like trees holding the sky. The floors were cool stone, smooth beneath bare feet. At the center burned a sacred flame, never left to die. The daughters tended it carefully, feeding it with oil. Its glow was the heart of the temple. Its warmth was the presence of Inanna herself. Sit with them now before the fire. The night is quiet. Only the crackle of flame and the soft hum of voices filling the air. You feel the warmth against your skin. You see the shadows sway gently along the walls. The daughters chant softly, their tones weaving like threads. The sound wraps around you, gentle as a blanket. Your breath slows, steady with the rhythm. You begin to feel the balance as they teach it. Balance in love, balance in struggle, balance in the turning of days. Just as the moon does not fear its darkness, so too must the heart rest in shadow at times. Just as the river floods, then calms, so too must the soul rise and fall. The daughters of Inanna remind you that this balance is not heavy, but gentle. It is the natural rhythm of all things. The stars overhead shift slow and calm. The moon glows brighter, silver on the temple stones. The river nearby whispers softly as it moves, carrying the night downstream. You rest in this place, between earth and sky, between silence and song. The daughters' voices are steady, like the tide. They guide you without pulling, they soothe without binding. Their presence is enough. The people of Sumer once leaned on this presence. In times of love, they offered flowers and honey. In times of war, they prayed for strength and wisdom. In sickness, they sought healing through water and chant. The daughters listened, held, reminded. Their service was not of power, but of presence. Not of rule, but of rhythm. Not of command, but of care. Even now, across ages and forgotten tongues, their echo remains. It lingers in the quiet of night. It flows in the cycles of moon and tide. It whispers in the breath that moves gently through your chest. The daughters of Inanna are not gone. They live in balance itself. They live in the circle, so rest here in their temple. Feel the stone beneath you, cool and grounding. Feel the flame before you, warm and steady. Hear the voices around you, soft and low. The stars above keep watch. The river flows without haste. All is held. All is balanced. All is safe. Now the chant fades slowly, like the last light of dusk. The daughters lower their hands. The fire burns low, calm and golden. The night grows deeper. You drift into stillness. You drift into peace. The circle of Inanna turns, carrying you gently into rest. Let us drift onward. Now rest as the stars return. Now sleep as the daughters keep watch. The balance holds you. The goddess blesses you. The night is soft. The night deepens. The stars lean closer, scattered like grains of salt upon black velvet. A gentle wind moves through unseen branches. Leaves stir, soft as whispers brushing against one another. The air is cool, touched with the faint sweetness of resin and earth. In this quiet world, the listener steps into the groves of ancient Canaan. These groves were sacred. Clusters of trees rose from the soil like living temples. Their roots curled deep, drinking the hidden waters of the earth. Their trunks stretched upward, firm and strong, reaching toward the sky. The air beneath them was hushed, as though even the smallest bird knew it had entered a holy place. This was the dwelling of Asherah, the mother of trees. She was not a goddess of thunder or war. Her voice was not the clash of weapons, nor the blaze of storms. Instead, her power was quieter. It moved like water seeping into thirsty ground. It healed as shade heals weary travelers beneath the midday sun. Asherah's presence was gentle, like a mother's hand upon a child's brow. The women of Canaan would come into her groves at dawn. They walked barefoot, feeling the dew upon the earth. In their arms, they carried bowls of grain, flowers, and small cups of honey. These were gifts laid at the base of sacred trees. They did not ask for riches, nor for victory. They asked for life, for health, for children who would grow strong like the trees around them. Imagine standing with them. The morning is still gray, the horizon painted with the first soft glow of light. The trees rise tall, their crowns heavy with birds waiting for the sun. A circle forms around the largest trunk, its bark rough yet warm. The women kneel, their hands pressed gently to the earth. They whisper prayers not with urgency but with trust. Their voices fall like drops of rain, sinking into the soil. Asherah was believed to dwell within these trees. Her body was the wood, her breath the wind in the leaves, her spirit the sap flowing unseen within. To touch the bark was to touch her strength. To rest in her shade was to rest in her embrace. Every branch carried her blessing, stretching outward like an open hand. Her name was spoken softly, never shouted. It moved on the lips like a secret song. The people knew her as the Lady of Life, the one who fed both earth and sky. They saw her in the vines heavy with grapes. They saw her in the olive trees bending with fruit. They saw her in the mother who cradled a child, rocking gently, quietly, humming. Fertility was her gift, yet not only for bodies. She was fertility for the land, for the flocks, for the spirit. She was renewal itself, the quiet pulse that brings green shoots after winter. Her presence was the promise that even in barren times, life waits to return. The groves were more than places of prayer. They were sanctuaries of stillness. Birdsong echoed lightly among branches. The air carried the hum of bees drifting from flower to flower. The ground was cool, a blanket of fallen leaves and roots winding beneath the soil. Here a weary heart could rest. Here broken spirits found calm. The healing hands of Asherah were not seen but felt. They moved like the warmth of sunlight spreading over closed eyes. Some tell of priestesses who served her, women who tended the groves, who guarded their peace. They taught that the trees themselves were teachers, that their patience was wisdom. that their endurance was strength, that their stillness was prayer. The priestesses moved slowly, their voices low, guiding others to listen. "Stay," they would whisper, "and hear the voice of the leaves. Stay, and you will feel her breath." In times of illness, the people came to her groves with hope. They brought herbs and placed them at the roots. They lit small lamps, their flames trembling in the shade. They prayed not only for healing of the body, but for the spirit, for balance, for peace. And often, those who left carried with them a lighter heart, as though the trees themselves had lifted a burden. The image of Asherah lived in carved wooden poles, too, tall, smooth pillars set into the earth near shrines. They were not idols of stone, but living symbols of growth. Their lines were simple, their presence quiet. Each pole was a reminder of the tree of life, the bond between heaven and earth. When the wind brushed across them, people believed it was her spirit passing by, unseen yet near. Her blessing was carried into homes as well. Mothers whispered her name when they held their children. Fathers looked to her groves when they planted seeds in the soil. Her presence was not distant, but close, moving like breath through every corner of life. Every tree swaying in the wind was a prayer answered. Every stream gliding between rocks was her hand stretched forth. Close your eyes now and picture the sacred grove. The branches arch above like a great cathedral. Sunlight falls through leaves, scattering golden patterns on the ground. The air is cool, fragrant with pine and wild herbs. You hear the sound of a stream nearby, its waters clear and gentle. Its song is simple, like laughter softened into a lullaby. You sit at the base of the largest tree. Its roots curve around you, steady and strong. It feels as though the tree itself is holding you, keeping you safe. The healing hands of Asherah are there, not in touch but in presence, not in command but in calm. Her gift is renewal, as natural as the turning of seasons. The body finds rest, the spirit finds balance, the earth finds peace. The people of Canaan once carried this wisdom, that healing does not always come through force, that sometimes it comes through stillness, through water flowing, through leaves swaying, through a quiet place where the soul remembers itself. This is what Asherah gave, a reminder of the life always waiting to rise again. The stars shift slowly overhead. The night deepens. The trees stand like guardians, rooted in silence, reaching toward eternity. The air is steady, carrying the breath of unseen winds. The prayers of long ago linger still, resting among the branches. The grove does not forget. The mother of trees does not forget. Now you too are held in her grove. You too are shaded by her hands. Let the cool stillness rest upon your heart. Let the sound of leaves soothe your mind. Breathe as the earth breathes. Be as steady as the roots. Be as calm as the branches. All is cared for. All is blessed. All is well. The healing hands of Asherah remain. She waits in every tree, in every breath of wind, in every prayer spoken into silence. And as the night closes, she wraps the world in her gentle strength. The stars return, the wind grows softer, and you drift, as if resting in the arms of the mother herself. Now let us drift onward. Now rest as the stars return. Now sleep in the quiet grove of the divine. The night opens softly. The moon hangs above like a silver lantern, steady and full. The air is cool, touched by pine and wild thyme. Crickets sing their quiet chorus, and in the distance, an owl calls once, then falls silent again. It is in this silence that the spirit of Artemis awakens. She was the daughter of the moonlight. She was the breath of the forest, the guardian of untamed places. Her steps were light, almost unseen, yet the earth knew her. The trees leaned closer as she passed. The streams sparkled brighter in her gaze. Even the smallest fawn felt safe beneath her shadow. Artemis was not worshipped in marble halls alone. Her temples were made of stone and wood, yes, but her truest shrine was the wild itself, the mountains rising like dark waves against the horizon, the deep forests where sunlight fell in golden threads, the meadows, soft and wide, where deer grazed under starlight. This was her home, her dwelling, her eternal song. She was known as the protector of the innocent. To children, to animals, to those who sought refuge in the woods, she offered her shield. She was freedom given form, wild and gentle all at once. Her bow was swift, her arrows true, but her purpose was not destruction. Her purpose was balance, to guard what was fragile, to remind humankind that the earth is alive, breathing, sacred. Imagine walking in her forests. The ground is soft with moss. Every step feels cushioned, hushed, like walking upon a woven carpet of green. The trees stand tall, their crowns brushing the sky. Above, the stars blink gently, reflected in a stream winding through stone. The stream sings to you, clear and calm, its voice a lullaby carried over centuries. Somewhere deeper in the woods, a deer stirs. You hear the faint crackle of leaves, then silence again. It is as though the forest itself is holding its breath, waiting for something holy to appear. And then, Artemis. Not as a queen on a throne, not as a warrior of conquest, but as a presence, pure and still. Her hair shines like moonlight upon flowing water. Her hands are steady, carrying both bow and torch. She moves not with haste, but with grace, as though each step is a prayer. The animals gather near her. A wolf sits at her side, its eyes calm and watchful. A hare rests at her feet, unafraid. Birds circle gently above, their wings tracing arcs of quiet devotion. She is more than huntress. She is more than goddess. She is the reminder of untouched spaces within and around us. The reminder that rest is not always found in stone chambers, nor in crowded places, but in the open breath of nature. To lie beneath the stars, to hear the song of wind in branches, to let the cool stream wash over your hands, this is her gift. This is her song. Her stories tell of mountains she loved, high peaks where the air was thin yet full of clarity. She climbed them with ease, her sandals light upon the stone. At the summits, she would raise her face to the sky, greeting the moon as a sister. In those moments, she was both human and divine, bound to earth yet reaching to eternity. Her song was the silence of snow falling on peaks. Her song was the cry of eagles gliding on unseen winds. The people who honored Artemis did so with songs of their own. At night, they gathered around fires at the edges of the forest. Their voices rose, steady and calm, not loud, but deep with reverence. Drums pulsed like slow heartbeats, echoing through the night. Flutes joined, carrying notes soft as wind. They sang of freedom, of innocence guarded, of wild lands left untouched. And always the moon looked on as though listening, as though blessing. For Artemis was not only guardian of nature, she was also guardian of rest. She knew the soul, like the body, could be wounded, hunted, driven too far. She knew the heart needed shelter, a place where it could breathe freely. Her presence was such a place. Her wild forests were not prisons, but sanctuaries. The tired spirit could wander there and be safe, unchased, unburdened. Some say that when someone was lost in sorrow, Artemis would send an animal to guide them. A bird circling overhead showing the way. A wolf keeping watch from a distance, never threatening, only guarding. A doe stepping softly ahead, leading toward water or safety. These were her signs, quiet yet certain. She never shouted, never forced. She whispered through the language of the wild. And so her songs lingered in every corner of nature. The whisper of pine needles swaying in the wind. The slow ripple of water over stones. The hush of snow falling upon branches. Each sound, each movement was part of her eternal hymn. A hymn that asked for nothing, only offered peace. Close your eyes now and listen. Hear the forest as though you are there. The cricket singing steady and low. The owl lifting its voice once more in the distance. The wind weaving through the branches above you. This is her song. A lullaby of freedom, of shelter, of calm. It is not hurried, it is not loud. It moves as slowly as a river, as gently as a drifting cloud. The myths say Artemis walked always with a circle of maidens, companions who shared her love for the wild. They too carried bows and torches. They too kept their steps light and their hearts free. Together they roamed the forests, guardians of all living things. Their laughter echoed through the valleys, bright yet soft, like silver bells in the night. To those who heard, it was a blessing, a reminder that joy can be simple, that peace can be found in walking gently upon the earth. The power of Artemis was not in conquest, but in presence. She did not rule by crown or sword. She ruled by reminder that the forest is holy, that the river is holy, that the quiet breath within you is holy. To walk with her was to remember this truth. To rest in her shadow was to remember that you too belong to the wild harmony of creation. As the night deepens, the song of Artemis softens. The owl grows silent, tucking itself upon a branch. The deer lie down in meadows, their bodies curled close, their ears at peace. Even the trees seem to rest, their leaves unmoving in the still air. The moon glows above, steady and watchful. Artemis walks beneath it, a figure of silver light, her bow resting at her side. She does not hurry, for the night is endless. She does not tire, for her purpose is eternal. Now you too walk in her forest. The moss is cool beneath your feet. The stars blink above like watchful eyes. A breeze brushes against your face, soft as the touch of a mother's hand. You feel safe, held protected. The wild around you is not strange, but familiar. It beats with the same rhythm as your own heart. The song of Artemis is with you now. It moves through the night, steady and calm. It tells you that freedom is not far away. It tells you that rest is always waiting, like a stream hidden in the forest. It tells you that you are never truly alone. Let the forest cradle you.
Let the moon watch over you.
Let the song of Artemis soften your breath. All is well. All is quiet. All is safe. Now let us drift onward. Now rest as the stars return. Now sleep to the eternal song of the wild. The night is gentle. Above, the sky stretches wide, filled with stars that shimmer like silver seeds scattered across velvet. The air is cool, carrying the faint breath of olive groves. In the stillness, a sense of watchfulness lingers, a quiet presence, wise and patient, guiding unseen paths. This is the realm of Athena. She is not a goddess of storms or sudden fire. She is a light that glows steady, like a lamp in a window, never fading. Her power is not in noise but in knowing, not in conquest but in clarity. She is wisdom woven into the fabric of life. Athena is often pictured with her shield and spear, yet her truest symbols are gentler. The owl that perches beneath the moon, the olive tree that stretches its branches in peace, the loom where threads cross and bind, weaving order from chaos. These are the echoes of her spirit. These are the signs of her golden thread. Imagine a great hall in Athens. The marble is smooth, glowing pale in lamplight. At the center stands a statue of the goddess, tall and calm. Her gaze is steady, yet soft, as though she sees through stone and time alike. Around her, the air hums with quiet reverence. Priests and priestesses move slowly, carrying oil lamps, their flames flickering like small stars. The hall is not loud with chants, but filled with whispers, gentle prayers rising like smoke. But Athena was not bound to temples alone. She walked in thoughts, in dreams, in choices made at crossroads. She was present when a leader paused to listen, when a builder set the first stone, when a poet shaped words into song. Her voice was not thunder but guidance, a whisper, a thread pulling gently, showing the way. Think now of the loom, threads stretched in silence, each one fragile on its own. But when woven, they form a tapestry, strong, whole, alive with meaning. Athena was the weaver of such patterns. She wove not only cloth but the fabric of thought. Every choice, every path, every word spoken in kindness. All were threads, golden and shining, joining to create the pattern of a life. Her people honored her not only with offerings, but with works of the mind. Stories told of how she taught mortals the skill of craft, how she gave them the olive tree, gift of nourishment and peace, how she showed them that victory could be won not by force alone, but by wisdom and patience. For Athena was strategy, but never cruelty. She was knowledge, but never pride. She was the reminder that wisdom is not distant, but near, waiting quietly within. Picture yourself now in her city. The streets are calm, washed in moonlight. Stone houses sleep, their doors closed, their hearths glowing faintly. You walk upward toward the high rock, the Acropolis. The night is still and the path is lined with olive trees. Their leaves whisper as the wind brushes past. Ahead, the temple stands, shining pale against the dark. It is not only stone, not only columns. It is a beacon, a place where thought and spirit join. The people of Athens looked to her as protector. But what she protected most was not walls or weapons. It was vision. The vision that life could be guided by reason, by compassion, by quiet strength. Her golden thread wound through courts and marketplaces, through homes and hearths, binding the city together. Each person, in their own way, held a part of the thread. Each life was woven into her great design. Athena's owl, the small and watchful bird, often flew in stories. It circled at night, silent wings stretched wide, eyes glowing with reflection. The owl did not rush, did not fear. It saw what others could not. In its stillness, it carried the wisdom of the goddess herself. When the people saw an owl near the temple, they whispered it was Athena's sign, a reminder to look deeper, to move slower, to trust the light of the mind. She was a goddess of many gifts, yet always measured, always calm. In her presence, even warriors lowered their swords, reminded that battles end, but wisdom remains. Even rulers paused, reminded that power is hollow without vision. Even the weary found comfort, reminded that the mind, like the heart, can rest and renew. Athena's golden thread reaches far beyond her city. It winds into the hills and valleys. It drifts across the seas. It lingers in every place where thought and care are honored. It lives in the silence between breaths, where insight comes softly, like dawn after long night. Close your eyes now and imagine the thread. It is light, shimmering, stretching before you. It does not bind, it does not trap. It simply guides, showing you the way with patience. You follow it step by step across a quiet field. The grass is cool beneath your feet. The stars above shimmer, as though watching. The thread glows faintly, steady, always leading onward. At the end of the path, you see an olive tree. Its trunk is wide, its branches full, its leaves shining silver in the moonlight. This was Athena's gift, a gift of peace, of nourishment, of endurance. You rest beneath it, the cool bark against your back. The leaves rustle above you, their sound like a lullaby. And in that sound, you hear her wisdom, that life is not only struggle, but balance. Not only questions, but quiet knowing. Not only paths divided, but threads joined. Athena's presence is here, soft as a dream. Her golden thread winds around you, not heavy, but light. It settles your thoughts. It steadies your breath. It reminds you that wisdom does not rush, it waits. That peace does not hide, it lives close. That guidance is always near if you listen gently. Now the night deepens. The city sleeps in silence. The owl lifts into the air, circling once, then gliding away. The olive tree stands watch, roots deep, branches wide, and the golden thread glows faintly, weaving through all things, earth and sky, thought and dream. Let it carry you now. Let it soften your mind. Let it weave you into its gentle design. For Athena's song is not of noise, but of quiet light. Not of conquest, but of care. Not of endings, but of eternal threads. Rest now as her wisdom holds you. Rest as the moon watches over. Rest as the stars return. Let us drift onward, carried by her golden thread. The night opens gently. The air is quiet, like a breath resting at the edge of dream. Above, stars hum their soft silver, and below, the earth lies calm, holding the roots of all that grows. It is in such a stillness that the ancient songs arise, songs older than cities, older than stone, songs carried on the winds of the Vedas. And within those chants, like a hidden river, live the mothers of the hymns. They are not bound to form. They drift as voices, as echoes, as radiant patterns woven in sound. Some call them the goddesses of speech, the guardians of sacred utterance. To others, they are like tender mothers, soothing the restless heart with rhythm and tone. They carry the soul not through words alone, but through the soft vibration of sound itself. Sound as cradle, sound as gentle tide. In the glow of the Vedic fire, the sages once gathered. Their eyes shone with the reflection of the flames. Their breaths moved with the chants, slow and measured, like waves rising and falling on an eternal sea. But behind their voices, behind their mortal breath, there was always something deeper. A feminine presence, watching, shaping, carrying. She was called Vak, the voice divine. Vak was not just speech. She was the breath of creation itself. It was said that the universe unfolded from her vibration. Stars found their places by her song. Rivers learned to flow from her cadence. And the heart of humankind discovered prayer through her whisper. When the sages sang, they sang with her. And when their chants faded into silence, it was she who lingered, like the warmth of a candle long after the flame has gone out. One of the hymns speaks of her as mother and queen. She moves through every form yet remains unseen. She gives to those who call upon her, not wealth alone, but clarity, peace, and the stillness of mind. Her presence is like dawn, gentle, golden, spreading across the horizon without force. Where she moves, shadow dissolves. Where she breathes, hearts awaken to quiet harmony. The listener may imagine themselves there, seated in a clearing at the edge of a forest. The fire burns low, casting soft light on the trunks of ancient trees. Somewhere in the distance, a bird calls once, then settles into silence. And in that silence, a chant begins. Not loud, not heavy, but flowing, soft as the tide. It rises like mist from the ground, carrying with it the presence of the hymn mothers. Each syllable of the chant is like a step on a path, each sound a thread in an unseen tapestry. It is said that sound itself holds a bridge between the human and the divine, and the mothers of the Vedic hymns tend that bridge, guarding it with gentleness, guiding souls across it as though across a river at twilight. Some of them are like Sarasvati, the flowing one. She is river and goddess both, clear, luminous, carrying wisdom as water carries light. To hear her is to feel washed clean, the mind soothed, the heart refreshed. She is not the rush of a storm, but the steady, healing stream. Her waters are song. Her song is memory, and memory becomes wisdom when wrapped in her embrace. Another presence drifts through the hymns, Usha's the dawn. She is not only morning light, but also the gentle mother who awakens all beings. She does not shake the world awake. She strokes it with color, opening it with patience. Her hymns call the soul to rise from shadow into clarity. Not hurried, not harsh, only with the rhythm of a soft awakening. Like the first breath of morning, she is promise and peace entwined. And there is Aditi, the boundless one, mother of gods, mother of the endless sky. Her hymn is not confined to word or note. It is the wide silence that holds every chant, every prayer, every thought. She is the space into which all sound dissolves. To rest in her presence is to rest in infinity itself. Her song is not one that can be heard. It is one that is felt, like the deep stillness beneath all movement. These mothers of sound do not rush the mind, nor do they demand belief. They move like wind through tall grasses, unnoticed until one listens closely. And then one realizes the grasses were always singing, the wind was always carrying, the hymn was always present. One only needed to soften enough to hear it. Imagine then that you are resting beside that sacred fire. The chants flow around you, but they do not ask for effort. They cradle you like waves. They draw you into a rhythm older than time itself. The syllables come, they go, they rise, they fade. And behind them the mothers linger, tender, eternal, carrying you gently into their embrace. The sages of the Vedic age believed that sound was not separate from creation. They believed each word was a seed, each note a spark, each chant a thread in the golden fabric of existence. To speak, to sing, to whisper was to take part in creation. And it was the mothers of the hymns who nurtured this truth, reminding the heart that language is sacred, that breath itself is holy. Perhaps this is why their presence feels like rest, because in their sound there is no demand. There is only return to stillness, return to origin, return to the soft embrace of sound that was always here. As the night deepens, the fire fades to embers. The forest around grows quieter, shadows long and still. Yet the hymns do not end. They have no ending. They live in the hush of leaves, in the pulse of your breath, in the slow beating of the heart. The mothers sing not to awaken, but to soothe, not to call forth action, but to offer release. Their songs are lullabies of the cosmos, carrying the spirit into the vast cradle of sleep. So let the mind drift now, as if on a river. Let the current of sound carry you, gentle and unbroken. The voices of Vak, of Sarasvati, of Ushas, of Aditi, they move with you, not ahead, not behind, but alongside, like mothers walking with their child through twilight. There is no hurry, no destination, only the endless unfolding of calm. Rest, as the mothers once sang to the ancient fires. Rest, as their hymns carried kings, wanderers, and sages into peace. Rest, as sound itself becomes a cradle. The chant continues, though you need not follow it. It will follow you, softly, patiently, always. And so the night closes its hand around you. The stars lean nearer as though listening. The forest breathes in silence, and the hymn mothers, unseen yet present, hold you in their endless song. Let us drift onward into the soft current of dreams. Now rest as the stars return, and the golden hymns cradle your spirit in sleep. The night is calm. The sky spreads wide, its darkness soft as velvet, and within it, stars shimmer like scattered blossoms of light. The world is hushed, as if listening. In this stillness there is a pulse, gentle, steady, unbroken. It is the rhythm of life itself, a quiet beat beneath all things. This is Shakti. She is not bound to one form. She is not only goddess, not only mother, not only flame or river. She is the power that flows through all. She is the star that shines not above, but within. The breath, the heartbeat, the spark that animates existence. Imagine a temple at the edge of night. Its pillars are carved with ancient patterns, their shadows falling long in the glow of a single flame. The flame sways in the breeze, yet does not go out. Around it, the air feels alive, as though humming. This hum, this invisible current, is Shakti. She is presence without weight. She is strength without force. She is life moving quietly through silence. In the old teachings, Shakti is the source, the energy behind the forms of gods and humans alike. Wherever there is motion, there is her. Wherever there is stillness, she waits, gentle and patient, like dawn hidden behind the horizon. The sages spoke of her as the eternal mother, but not a mother of body alone. She is the mother of vibration, of spark, of the quiet radiance that carries creation forward. It is said she is the star that shines in every heart, the hidden fire that keeps the soul warm. Think of the river that flows across the land. Its waters shimmer beneath the moon. It bends, it curves, it sings against stone, it gathers in pools, then continues on. This is Shakti, the movement, not the water. The song, not the note. The life that carries all else. In the ancient hymns, her presence is both fierce and tender. She is Durga, riding the lion, protecting the world with courage. She is Parvati, gentle beside Shiva, the steady companion of mountain silence. She is Kali, the dark mother, fierce against illusion, cutting away what binds the spirit. Yet beyond all names, she is simply energy. Energy that nourishes, sustains, and guides. Her star shines in everyone. It glimmers in the tired wanderer, finding rest beneath a tree. It glows in the child drifting into dream. It flickers in the quiet breath of the sleeping earth. Always present, always near. Let us drift deeper into her story. Picture the universe before it bloomed. There was silence, vast and unbroken. Then a pulse began, soft, steady, like the first beat of a drum. From this pulse, light unfolded. From light, sound. From sound, form. From form, life. And within it all, Shakti, the shining star, carried the dance. The myths tell of her union with Shiva, the still one. Shiva is pure awareness, vast and silent, like the endless sky. Shakti is movement, rhythm, creation, like the flowing wind. Together they form balance, stillness and motion, silence and song. Without Shiva, Shakti has no ground. Without Shakti, Shiva has no expression. Together, they are wholeness. The listener may now imagine themselves at the edge of a quiet forest. The trees are tall, their branches reaching like prayerful arms. Moonlight drapes them in silver. From deep within, a gentle wind flows, carrying the scent of earth and blossom. This wind touches your face. It moves your breath. It stirs the branches. This too is Shakti, not seen but felt, not grasped but known in stillness. Her star also shines in the rhythms of the body. In the inhale she rises. In the exhale she softens. In the pause between she waits, cradling the heart in quiet balance. Her dance is the rhythm of life, waking and sleeping, rising and resting, birth and return. Every heartbeat is a hymn in her honor, every breath a quiet offering. To know Shakti is not to see her in form, but to sense her in the spaces between. The warmth of sunlight, the calm of moonlight, the spark of thought, the silence after prayer. She's always there, steady as a star, close as the breath. The old poets sang of her as both fire and water. As fire she gives courage. As water she gives rest. As earth she holds. As air she moves. As space she embraces all. She cannot be named by one symbol alone, for she is the thread binding them all together. Some spoke of her as a shining star in the night sky, guiding wanderers across deserts and seas. But others knew her true star is within. When the mind quiets, it glows. When the heart softens, it shines. And when the soul drifts into peace, her star burns brightest of all. Imagine again the temple flame. It sways, yet it remains. Around it shadows shift, but the light endures. This is her gift, resilience, balance, a quiet strength that cannot be broken. She does not demand, she nurtures. She does not force, she flows. Her power is the kind that comforts, like a mother's hand upon the brow, like water's song upon stone. The myths also tell of her as Kundalini, the serpent power sleeping at the base of the spine. She waits, coiled and silent, until she awakens, rising gently like a golden thread, weaving upward, joining body to spirit, earth to sky. Yet her rising is not a storm. It is the slow opening of a flower, petal by petal, breath by breath. A blossoming, not a blaze. Her light spreads not to dazzle, but to soothe, like dawn spreading across the horizon. In this way, she carries the soul toward balance. She reminds it that strength does not mean struggle, that light does not mean force, that to rest is also to be strong. Now the night deepens. The stars above shimmer more brightly, as though echoing her presence. The world lies in silence, but within that silence her hum continues, steady, radiant, alive. Her hymn is not one you must follow. It follows you. It moves through your breath, through your dreams, through the quiet unfolding of sleep. She is the star that shines in all beings, the pulse of life, the breath of rest, the whisper of peace. And as her light glows within, you are carried not outward but inward, into the calm center where her star forever shines. So let us drift onward, in her embrace. Let the shining star of Shakti guide the spirit deeper into stillness. The pulse continues, gentle and steady, like the tide upon a quiet shore. The night holds you. The stars watch over you, and Shakti, radiant and near, cradles you in her endless light. Now rest as the stars return. Now rest as her shining star glows softly within. Now rest as the breath becomes dream, and the dream becomes peace. The night lies open, quiet as a still pond beneath moonlight. Stars scatter like pale blossoms drifting across the sky's dark silk. In the hush, the air feels soft, carrying no weight but carrying presence. It is the kind of silence that holds, not empties. The kind of silence that comforts, like a hand resting gently upon the brow. Into this silence comes a name whispered with devotion: Kuan Yin. She is known as the one who hears the cries of the world. Not only the loud cries, but the faint ones. The smallest tremor of sorrow, the softest whisper of pain. She hears it all. Her compassion is endless, flowing like water, covering the earth in a quiet tide of mercy. Imagine a temple resting at the edge of the sea. The tide is slow tonight, its waves rolling like breaths upon the shore. Lanterns glow, their light swaying with the rhythm of the wind. At the heart of the temple stands her image, carved of stone, draped in robes that fall like flowing water. Her eyes are not closed, not open, but resting in the space between. They see, and yet they soften. They hold, but never press. Her presence is the veil of calm that surrounds the weary, asking nothing in return. In the stories told of her, Kuan Yin once stood at the threshold of paradise. She had walked the long road of devotion, and the gates of eternal peace opened before her. But in that moment she heard voices, calls of pain, cries of despair rising from the earth, and so she turned. She did not step through the gates. Instead, she vowed to remain until every soul had found peace. Her choice became her gift, her endless act of compassion. The people of ancient China prayed to her not only in times of joy, but most deeply in moments of loss. They lit candles at her feet, and in the glow of that small flame they felt seen, felt heard, felt held. For her mercy was not distant. It was as close as the breath, as near as the beating heart. Her veil is woven of gentleness. It is said to fall over those in pain like mist over mountains. Not heavy, not sharp, but soft. Soft enough to cool, soft enough to ease. Like water flowing over stone, her mercy smooths the edges of sorrow. Like moonlight touching dark water, her presence brings calm even to the restless mind. Picture her by the shore. She stands where sea meets sand, her robe brushing against the tide. Her hands are open, one holding a vase filled with clear water, drawn from the spring of mercy. From this vase, she pours healing, not as force, but as blessing. Each drop falls like a star, touching the earth, touching the spirit. Her other hand holds a willow branch, soft and bending, never breaking. With it she touches hearts, sweeping away dust and burden. The willow bends but endures. The willow heals and reminds all who suffer. You too may bend without breaking. The people told stories of her appearing in many forms, sometimes as a woman dressed in white, walking among the poor, sometimes as a fisherman's daughter, offering kindness to those who were hungry, sometimes as a voice in the waves or a vision in a dream. Her form did not matter. Her presence was the same. It was the gentle veil of compassion, spread like a cloak across the world. Think of the sea once more. Its surface glimmers in moonlight. Its depths hold quiet mysteries. Each wave that rises soon softens, falling again into rest. This is her way. Every pain rises, but she helps it to soften, to fall back into the stillness beneath. She teaches that suffering is not a wall, but a tide. It comes and it goes, and in between, peace waits. Some called her the Mother of Mercy, others the Friend of the Weary. But to those who prayed in silence, She was simply a presence. A warmth in the chest, a tear that eased the eyes, a calm that lingered in the breath. Even without name, they felt her. Even without form, she was near. Her compassion is not loud. It is quiet, like the hush after a storm. It does not demand that sorrow vanish, only that it rest. In her care, grief is not denied, but cradled. It becomes lighter, like a stone set down after being carried too long. The old poet said her voice was like the sound of flowing water, endless, clear, soothing. It did not shout. It did not preach. It simply moved, filling every space with calm. And those who listened felt their own hearts soften, their own breath ease. You may now imagine yourself walking through a grove of bamboo. The night air is cool, the moon silver above. The bamboo bends in the wind, their leaves whispering together. Through this gentle path you walk, and at its end you see her, standing beneath the trees, her robe flowing like moonlight, her hands open in welcome. There is no fear here, only softness, only stillness, only her presence, wrapping you like a veil. The legends tell that no cry is too small for her. Even the silent cry of the heart reaches her. And when it does, she does not judge, does not delay. She simply listens, and in her listening, healing begins. To be heard is to be held, to be seen is to be soothed. And in this way, her veil of compassion never fails. Her story reminds us that even in sorrow, there is rest. Even in grief, there is mercy. Even in pain, there is still the possibility of peace. The tide moves, the willow bends, the veil falls. All things soften under her touch. Now the night deepens. The stars glow more brightly as though her presence has drawn them closer. The waves roll, steady and slow, each one a breath of the earth. And somewhere, in that endless rhythm, you sense her, the quiet star of compassion, shining, listening, soothing. She is near. She is always near. So let us drift onward, wrapped in her gentle veil. Let the sea sing you into rest. Let the willow bend beside you, reminding you of quiet strength. Let her presence carry you, like a tide that never breaks, like a flame that never fades. Now rest as the stars return. Now rest as the sea hushes its song. Now rest as Kuan Yin's compassion cradles you in peace. The night settles over the old hills of Greece. The olive trees stand in stillness, their silver leaves glinting beneath the soft breath of the moon. Beyond them, in quiet villages, fires glow within homes, small sparks of light in the cradle of the dark. Each flame is tender, steady like a heartbeat, and at the center of every hearth there lives the spirit of Hestia. She is not the goddess of thunder or of war. She does not rule the mountains, nor command the waves. Her power is quiet, hidden in the glow of embers, in the warmth of coals. She is the flame that gives no fear, the fire that nourishes, the light that welcomes. She is Hestia, the guardian of home. In the temples of ancient Greece, her fire never faded. Priests and priestesses tended it, keeping the flame alive day and night. For as long as it burned, the city felt safe, held beneath her unseen protection. If ever the fire went out, it was not struck anew by mortal hand. It was rekindled only with fire drawn from another sacred hearth, linking each home, each town, each temple to her eternal warmth. Imagine entering such a temple at dusk. The air is still, scented with olive oil and ash. The stone floor is cool beneath bare feet, and ahead lies a gentle light. It is not fierce, not blinding. It is the steady glow of her flame. It flickers as though breathing, its warmth wrapping around all who draw near. There are no trumpets, no grand statues. Only the fire, simple and quiet as she herself is. Hestia chose not to dwell in the noise of Olympus. She sat instead at the edge of gatherings, calm and unshaken, offering peace where there was unrest. Her throne was modest, her presence gentle. But even the other gods respected her stillness, for she was the one who held the flame of belonging, the essence of family, the unseen root of every gathering. When travelers left their homeland, they prayed to her before departing, and when they returned, they prayed again before her fire, giving thanks for the warmth of welcome. To her they entrusted their journeys, for she was not only the keeper of hearths, but the keeper of return. Her fire was more than heat. It was the circle that bound families together. Around it, meals were shared, stories told, laughter softened, sorrows eased. Children watched the flames and felt safe, as though her hand rested on their shoulders. The old found comfort in its glow, remembering that though bodies grow weary, the warmth of home endures. And for those who carried grief, the fire whispered, even in loss, the flame of love remains. Picture yourself now beside such a hearth. The night air cools the skin, but the fire greets you with softness. The flames rise and fall in rhythm, as if listening to the breath. The logs shift, their sound gentle, like a lullaby spoken in wood and ember. Above, smoke curls upward, carrying with it the prayers of countless souls who once sat before fires like this. In this glow you feel not alone but held. The flame does not ask for words. It asks only that you rest. In ancient villages, when new homes were built, fire from Hestia's temple was carried inside. It was placed at the center, marking the beginning of a life. From that fire, meals would be cooked, warmth would be given, blessings would be shared. The home itself was born through her flame, and so she became not only the guardian of temples, but of kitchens, of families, of every small fire that gave life to human days. Her silence was her gift, for in silence the heart softens, in silence the spirit listens, and in silence the smallest light shines brightest. Hestia's fire was never a roaring blaze. It was a steady glow, constant, patient, like the love that does not demand but simply endures, like the presence that asks nothing but gives everything. The poet said her flame lived also in the spirit of people, that within every heart burned a small ember of Hestia, reminding each soul of its belonging. Even when far from home, even when lost upon roads unknown, the ember guided them. It whispered of safety, of shelter, of a place to return. The heart itself, they believed, was a hearth, and Hestia, unseen, kept its fire alive. Think now of the stars above Greece. Each one shines like a distant ember, scattered across the endless dark. Together they make a sky that feels like a great hearth glowing above the world. And just as families once sat around the fire, so too do we sit beneath the stars, drawn together by their quiet light. The stars, like flames, remind us we are not alone. We are part of a circle, eternal and unbroken. Some say Hestia never turned away those in need. If a stranger knocked upon a door, she was the warmth that opened it. If a wanderer sought shelter, she was the fire that welcomed them in. Even now, in the memory of humankind, her gift lingers. Every time a meal is shared, every time kindness is offered to a guest, her presence is near. She is the spirit of hospitality, of gentleness, of quiet care. The fire does not boast. It does not call attention to itself. It burns simply, humbly, faithfully. In this, Hestia teaches a truth deeper than any grand display, that strength can be soft and power can be kind. Her fire has no need to conquer, for it already holds the world in its warmth. The old tales tell that when prayers rose to the heavens, they passed first through her fire. Every offering, no matter to whom it was given, began with her, for without the flame there was no ritual. Without her warmth, no prayer could rise. She was the beginning, the foundation, the quiet source upon which all else rested. Now imagine the hearth fading slowly to embers. The flames grow smaller, the wood glows red. The room is bathed in a softer light. The warmth remains, gentle and steady. It does not vanish. It only rests, waiting for morning, waiting for life to stir again. Such is the way of Hestia's fire, always present even when unseen. In dreams, her flame continues. It glows beneath the lids of the eyes, warming the heart from within. It guides the spirit toward peace, toward belonging, toward home. No matter how far you wander, her fire waits. No matter how weary you become, her warmth endures. The night deepens. The olive trees sigh in the wind. The stars glow like embers in the vast sky, and the hearth fire burns, steady and quiet, the eternal flame of Hestia. Let us drift onward, carried by her silent warmth. Let the fire cradle your breath. Let its glow soften your spirit. Now rest as the embers shine within you. Now rest as the stars return. Now rest in the silent fire of Hestia. The night is hushed. The sky above is veiled with soft clouds, and behind them, stars glow like secret seeds of light. The world breathes slowly, as though resting, as though listening. And in that stillness, a story begins to unfold. It is the story of Mary, the gentle one, the mother whose presence became like a rose hidden in the heart of the earth, soft, fragrant, and eternal. In old villages, when the bells of evening rang, people whispered prayers to her. They did not cry out with thunderous voices. They spoke quietly, almost like children at the edge of sleep. For they knew that Mary listened not with judgment, but with care. She was the tender veil between sorrow and peace, the one who cradled pain until it softened into calm. The rose that bloomed with her name was not always seen. It grew in silence, tucked away in hidden gardens of the soul. Its petals were not meant to dazzle, but to comfort. Each layer unfolded like a breath, each fold carrying the fragrance of kindness. And those who sought her found that simply remembering her presence was enough to ease the weight of the day. In sacred art, she was often painted in blue, blue like twilight, blue like still waters, blue like the sky just before dawn. This was the color of gentleness, of quiet endurance. Around her shoulders, the blue cloak seemed to carry not only her own grace, but the cares of the world. She bore them with silence, with patience, with the strength that does not need to boast. Her hands, always open, were like a doorway. They did not close against anyone. They welcomed the weary, the lost, the frightened. Even in silence, her presence said, "You are safe." The Rose of Mary was more than a flower. It was a symbol of purity, but not the kind that demanded perfection. It was purity in the sense of clear water, flowing and forgiving. It was purity that meant healing, a heart untangled from fear. The hidden rose did not ask to be perfect. It only asked to be open, to offer its fragrance even in the darkest of nights. Think now of a candlelit chapel where her image rests in quiet shadow. The air smells faintly of wax and stone. A single flame trembles near her figure, softening the lines of her face. In that dim glow, her eyes seem alive, watching gently, but without demand. Those who enter the chapel feel their shoulders loosen, their hearts soften. They sit, they breathe, and without words, they know they are heard. Her rose lives in such spaces, hidden, tender, unspoken, yet deeply felt. There are stories of her appearing to the sorrowful, carrying not grand displays of power, but simple comfort. To the shepherd in the field, she appeared as a gentle light. To the mother grieving her child, she came as a whisper in the wind. To the poor and weary, she came as a dream of warmth, always hidden, always simple, always a rose blooming quietly where it was least expected. The rose also became a prayer upon the lips of many. The rosary, strung bead by bead, was like a garland of blossoms laid at her feet. Each prayer was a petal, each word a fragrance drifting upward, and in return her presence was felt in the silence that followed. For prayer was not only words, but also rest. And in that rest she drew near. Mary's rose is also the rose of the heart. When one feels broken, when hope seems lost, her rose is still there, blooming unseen within. It reminds the soul that even in grief, beauty remains. Even in sorrow, kindness breathes. Even in silence, love lives. Like a hidden rose, love does not always shout its presence. Sometimes it waits in the shadows. Sometimes it rests beneath the surface. But always, when needed most, it opens, releasing its quiet fragrance into the air. Her story teaches that gentleness is not weakness. It is the deepest strength of all. To carry burdens with patience, to offer kindness without demand, to bloom in silence, this is her way. The hidden rose is stronger than the storm, for it does not break.
It endures. Imagine now a garden at night.
The moonlight falls softly over leaves, over soil damp with dew. Among the shadows a rose begins to open. Its petals curl outward, pale and glowing. You lean closer, and the fragrance meets you, delicate and sweet. There is no noise, no announcement, only the simple truth of its beauty. This is the Rose of Mary, ever present, ever quiet, ever near. To the child who is frightened, she is the lullaby. To the wanderer far from home, she is the memory of warmth. To the weary soul at the end of the day, she is the hidden rose waiting in the heart, reminding, you are not alone. The old chants called her the rose without thorns, not because life was without pain, but because she transformed pain into mercy. Her rose was a symbol of healing, of gentle transformation. And when people spoke her name, they felt their sorrows soften, as though touched by fragrance unseen. As the night deepens, think of her rose blooming quietly within you. Its petals unfold with every breath you take. With each slow exhale, the rose opens more, releasing calm, releasing peace. It is hidden, yet it shines. It is silent, yet it comforts. It is small, yet it holds eternity within its heart. The world may be restless, but her rose remains still. The night may be long, but her rose remains bright. Your heart may be weary, but her rose blooms in secret, carrying love that cannot be lost. The bells of evening fade. The clouds drift slowly across the sky. The stars return, shimmering like countless hidden roses blooming in the heavens. And somewhere within, the fragrance of Mary's rose lingers. Let us drift onward, held by that hidden bloom. Let the rose cradle the spirit with its quiet grace. Now rest as the petals close in peace. Now rest as the stars return. Now rest in the hidden rose of Mary. The desert at night is a place of quiet wonder. The air is still, yet full of whispers carried across dunes of silver sand. The moon hangs above like a watchful lantern, casting its pale light upon the earth. Stars spread wide, countless as grains of dust, each one glowing like a secret flame. The world feels endless here, and within that vast stillness, there once walked women who carried silence as their prayer. They were known as the Desert Mothers, mystics of the early Christian tradition, seekers of God in the wild places. While cities grew busy with noise and power, they turned away. They stepped into solitude, into landscapes of stone and sand, where only the wind would keep them company. Breathe slowly now. Let the desert rise in your imagination. See the horizon stretch without end, a soft curve between earth and sky. Feel the cool breath of night brushing against your skin. All around emptiness, and yet, within that emptiness, a deep and gentle presence. The Desert Mothers believed the desert itself was a teacher. Every silence held wisdom. Every long shadow was a companion. Every grain of sand whispered of time beyond counting. In solitude, the heart learns to listen. In solitude, the heart learns to rest. One story tells of Amma Syncletica. She spoke of the soul as a lamp. When oil is not poured into it, the flame fades. But when tended with care, the lamp shines steady, unshaken by the winds. So she taught that the soul must be nourished, not with great feasts of thought, but with small, steady breaths of prayer. Simple words, silent stillness, a rhythm like the beating of the heart. Pause here. Feel the rhythm of your own breath. Each inhale, each exhale, a quiet prayer of its own. The Desert Mothers were not rulers or queens. They did not command armies or build palaces. Their kingdom was inner stillness. Their crown was silence. Their wisdom grew not from books, but from the slow patience of the desert itself. Imagine walking with them beneath the stars. The sand is cool beneath your feet. A faint breeze carries the scent of dry earth, touched with the sweetness of wild herbs. In the distance, a low fire glows. Beside it, a circle of women sit in quiet presence. Their robes are simple, their faces lined with the soft marks of time. They do not rush to speak. Their words are few, but each one rests in the air like a drop of water falling into a still pool. One of them turns her gaze upward. She says, "The stars are like prayers. They look small, but their light travels across ages to reach us. So too do the quiet prayers of the heart. They seem small, but they reach eternity." Another smiles and adds, "Silence is not emptiness. It is full of God's breath. Their voices are gentle, carried like lullabies through the night air. There is no need for debate, no need for noise, only the rhythm of the fire crackling and the desert's wide silence and the stars keeping watch. You walk nearer, sitting among them. The sand is soft, the fire warm. No questions are asked, no answers are demanded. Only stillness, only presence, a peace that asks nothing from you except to rest. In the early dawn, when the horizon begins to glow, the Desert Mothers rise and walk out to greet the morning. Their steps are slow, unhurried. Their robes brush against the sand with a sound like whispers. The first light touches the sky in shades of rose and gold. Birds begin to stir, calling softly across the barren land. The women close their eyes, letting the sun's warmth fall upon their faces. For them, this was prayer. Not many words, not long speeches. Simply standing in the light, breathing with the earth, listening to the silence that spoke louder than any human voice. Their teachings were not carved into stone tablets. They were not thundered from pulpits. They were spoken gently, and often only once, so that whoever heard would carry the memory in their heart. Amma Theodora once said, "Just as trees cannot bear fruit without water, so the soul cannot grow without silence." And Amma Sarah, who lived by the river, would whisper, "I put out my foot to ascend, and I place death before my eyes." Her meaning was simple: to walk each step humbly, to live as if each breath were precious and fleeting. The wisdom of the Desert Mothers was soft, but it endured like stone. They taught not by force but by gentleness, not by command but by example. And still today, across centuries, their voices drift to us like desert winds, reminding us that the soul finds peace not in noise, but in stillness. Let the silence of their desert flow into your own heart now. Let it soothe the tired places within you. You need not speak. You need not strive. Only breathe. Only rest. Imagine once more the endless sands beneath the starlit sky. The night is cool, the moon tender. Far away, the fire has faded, but the warmth remains, like an ember glowing inside your chest. The words of the mothers echo softly, not as commands, but as lullabies. Silence is full of God's breath. The stars are like prayers. The soul is a lamp that must be tended. Each phrase drifts through your mind like a feather in the air. They ask for nothing. They give everything. The desert stretches on, vast and timeless. Its sands are like an ocean, still and waiting. The stars above shimmer as though listening. And you too drift into that same stillness. You are not alone. You are held by silence, carried by breath, watched over by the same stars that guided the desert mothers so long ago. Now, the fire dims. The night deepens. The body grows heavy and the mind softens. The desert does not hurry. It waits, it cradles, it keeps watch. So rest, child of silence. Rest in the gentle wisdom of the women who once wandered into the wild. Their solitude is a gift, and tonight, that gift wraps around you like a cloak of peace. Let the sands be your bed. Let the stars be your guardians. Let the stillness be your prayer. And as your breath grows slower, as your thoughts soften like footprints fading in the sand, drift into the wide silence of the desert night. Drift onward. Drift gently. Drift into rest. Night folds itself gently over the earth. The horizon softens and the stars begin to scatter like pearls across velvet sky. A hush settles, deeper than words, tender as a mother's touch. It is here, in this stillness, that the circle begins to form, not of stone nor of fire, but of presence. A gathering of voices from long ago. The eternal feminine returning softly, silently, like a stream flowing back into the sea. Breathe slowly now. Let your thoughts become lighter than air. Imagine a clearing at the heart of night, lit only by moonlight and the faint glow of lanterns. Around this circle, figures take their place. They are not bound by time nor by distance. They step across centuries, carrying with them the fragrance of memory, the strength of patience, the softness of compassion. First comes Mary, with her hidden rose of gentleness. Her steps are quiet, her robe the color of dawn. She carries no crown, no jewel, only the fragrance of comfort, the kind of peace that comes from holding another in safety. Her presence is like a lullaby without words, a light that does not blind, but guides. Beside her sits Isis, the mother of the Nile. Her wings unfold like shadows of silver, and from her comes the memory of waters, rivers that nourish, tides that rise and fall, the endless rhythm of life and return. She holds the memory of cycles, the promise that nothing is ever lost, only transformed, only carried forward. Kuan Yin follows, robed in the color of sea foam. Her eyes reflect oceans wide and kind. She listens to the cries of the world, and with a whisper, she eases them. Her hands pour compassion as if it were water, flowing endlessly, soothing wounds no one else could see. Where she steps, the air feels softer, like rain falling gently upon thirsty soil. In the circle, Demeter takes her seat. Her hands still carry the scent of grain, the warmth of fields in late summer. She knows the pain of loss, the joy of return, and so she guards the harvest of the heart. Her presence reminds that after each winter, spring waits patiently beneath the soil. Beside her, the desert mothers arrive. Robes simple, eyes bright with silence. They bring the vastness of empty lands, a gift of listening deeper than words. From their lips fall soft truths, not commands, but murmurs, seeds for whoever is quiet enough to hear. And then, others join. Hestia, the keeper of hearthfire. Inanna, radiant with both descent and rising. Terra, green as the forests after rain. Their names vary. Their lands are far apart, but their essence is one. Together they weave a circle, like a garland made of many blossoms, each unique, yet all bound together by the thread of eternal care. Now listen, a wind moves through the clearing. It carries whispers, not loud, not sharp, only soft breaths, like the sound of pages turning in a sacred book. The women do not speak in debate. They do not raise their voices. They share presence, they share silence, they share a knowing that flows deeper than language. One by one, their gifts are laid before you. Mary offers comfort. Isis offers renewal. Kuan Yin offers compassion. Demeter offers patience. The desert mothers offer silence. Hestia offers warmth. Inanna offers courage through descent. Terra offers protection as gentle as leaves. Their circle is not closed. It is wide enough for you to enter. You sit among them now beneath the open night. Their faces glow faintly in the moonlight, and in their eyes you see reflections of your own life, your own heart, your own quiet hopes. They are not separate from you. They are within you. Each whisper, each presence, has lived in your breath since the beginning. The eternal feminine is not far away. It is the river that runs quietly through your spirit, sometimes hidden, sometimes still, but always flowing. Close your eyes now. Feel the warmth of the circles surrounding you. Their energy moves like a gentle tide, inward, outward, steady and sure. There is no demand here, no weight. Only the feeling of being held. Only the assurance that you are safe within the vast embrace of their care. The night deepens. The stars turn slowly above, their movement unseen but certain. The circle glows more faintly, not because it fades, but because it sinks deeper into your soul. Their voices are not lost. They rest in you, like seeds sleeping beneath the soil, waiting for the right season to bloom. The clearing grows softer, quieter. Lanterns dim, the air cools. One by one, the women rise, yet they do not leave. They walk into the night sky itself, becoming stars, becoming whispers, becoming the soft rhythm of your breath, and so you are not alone. Even as the circle dissolves into starlight, its presence remains. Every step you take is held by their watch. Every silence is filled with their breath. Every dream is guarded by their eternal patience. Let the image fade now. The sand, the fire, the river, the wings, all return to silence. Only the stars remain, keeping their quiet vigil above you. The eternal feminine has no end. It does not pass away. It is the gentle thread woven through all lives, through all nights, through all dreams. Now rest, as the circle closes not around you, but within you. Rest as the stars return to their watch. Rest as your body grows heavier, as your breath slows, as sleep carries you gently onward. The circle remains. The presence endures. The whispers guard your sleep. Drift now, child of silence. Drift beneath the stars. Drift within the eternal embrace. Let us drift onward. Let us drift gently. Let us drift into rest.